Hello everybody, welcome to the Biker Baker and Mr. Smith channel. Today we're going to make lasagna soup and Billy is with me. So, he's the cameraman moving it all around. He's been out there shoveling and doing his electric for his wood shop, whatever it is. And now his back hurts.
But it works.
But the electric works, but his back doesn't. So, first off, let me get some oil here. We're going to put some olive oil down in the bottom of my Dutch oven. This is how this works, is it? Maybe. Ooh, there we go. Flips up. I always spray it. I never pour it in. Okay. Put some olive oil down in the bottom, and we're going to put in some onion. Ooh.
Who doesn't love onions?
Onions, and then garlic.
Oh, yeah.
That's
two of my faves.
Mm-hmm. Well, jarlic for us.
Jarlic.
You can use fresh garlic if you want. This is what I have, so that's what we're using today. Just however much you want. All right. That was probably about a tablespoon. If you want more, you do more.
Well, I can smell that already.
Yeah. We're going to need some more garlic.
Smells good to me.
We get the fresh, but we don't use it that often. So this works for us, guys. You know, if you use it a lot, you go ahead and get the fresh. So we're going to let those sweat a little bit in there. And I'm using a pound of ground beef. You can use sausage, you can use a mixture of both, whatever you want. You can use 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, whatever. I'm just making a small thing for us. So, you know, some people make a whole big pot of it. I'm not doing that.
Only two of us.
Yeah, only 2 of us. So I'm going to make, who knows, by the time I get done, it may be a big pot, but that's the way vegetable soup does. I start out small and then I always end up with a big pot full. So.
Or chili.
So we'll see. Get this started. Guys, I made those white chocolate macadamia nut with sweet dried cherries in them. They are awesome.
Cookies.
Cookies. Best cookies I've ever made. I don't know if I'll share those.
Those are pretty good. Yeah, they probably won't leave the house.
Yeah, those are only with us. Alright, so we got that sweating in there. We're going to put in our hamburger. Like I said, I just have 1 pound of hamburger. You use turkey, you use sausage, you use a mixture of both, whatever you want. This is what we are doing. I'm going to put in some salt. It even has a light on them. Look at them. It's so cool.
How cute. We love the salt and pepper shaker.
Absolutely.
We use it every day. Several times a day.
Yeah, not just once. We use them several times a day. Alright. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder in this hamburger. And a little bit of, not that yet, onion powder going in. Got moisture around here. All that stuff sticking together. Okay. It's all mixed up. And we'll be back after we get this browned up. Alright guys, our hamburger is almost browned with all the onion and garlic in it. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. Mix that in there with the hamburger. Let's see if there's any grease in that. No, there's hardly any grease. Plus, that grease will give us some flavor. We just want a little bit in it. Not much, but there's hardly anything in the bottom of this. So we're just going to keep it. So, a couple tablespoons of tomato paste going in. And we're going to mix that up good with the hamburger. Get that all going. Let it heat up in there.
Melt it all in.
Mix it with that hamburger and get a little extra flavor with that hamburger in there.
It's smelling good.
He's not sure he's going to like it.
I haven't eaten all day, so I'm hungry.
Yeah. And it's 3 o'clock. Alright. We got that going. Now I'm going to add a little bit of basil. You can use fresh if you want. I don't have fresh. I'm using these. I always say use what you got. We're going to add some oregano. I'm going to take a little of that. Fresh is probably better, but this is what we got. We're going to put in some crushed red peppers.
Oh yeah, baby. That's what I'm saying.
I know. There we go. Let's stir this up before we get burned. I hear it sizzling.
You might want to crank it down.
I'm getting ready to put some liquid in there.
Oh.
Alright, we're going to put in 1 small can of diced tomatoes. If you want bigger chunks, you use the bigger tomatoes. Get that all stirred up. Alright, and we're going to put in, since I'm not doing, it looks like, see, it's getting bigger than what I thought. We're going to put in some pasta sauce. We may have a bunch of this to share, though.
Maybe.
Because it's getting bigger than what we thought. Could always freeze it, but sharing is caring. Okay, now, last but not least, well, it's not really last, but as far as this juice here, we're going to put in some chicken broth. I'm going to put in about half of this container. Always a little extra for measure.
No vanilla or nuts?
No vanilla or nuts in this soup. I think I'm going to put in the whole. You can use beef broth. You can use chicken broth. You use whatever kind of liquid that you want in here. If you don't have the beef broth or chicken broth like that, get you some bouillon cubes and melt them in some hot water and put that in. Woo. We're going to let that simmer or boil. And then we're going to put in some pasta. You can put in lasagna noodles if you want. You can break them up and put them in. Or you can even boil them beforehand just to al dente and then throw them in. I want to cook mine with that because I like to simmer my soup. I like for it to cook a while, not just quick. Okay? But you know what? I think I'm going to taste this just because I have never had it before. I'm just going to taste it. That's good. And then we're going to have a side of some garlic bread. And I'm making some ricotta cheese, Parmesan, and some seasonings to go in the middle like you would layer lasagna with your ricotta cheese and seasonings.
Oh, that's got to be good.
See? All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got it boiling real good. We're going to put in some bow tie pasta because that's what we're going to use. And how much? Whatever you want. You want some noodles in there because it's lasagna supposed to be. Look at that. And then we're going to pour in about a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. That's going to give it that creamy color right there.
Yummy.
Look at that. This is going to be all cheesy and creamy.
You can't go wrong with that.
All right, well, we got that working. I have, let me rinse this off. I have about a half a cup of ricotta cheese. It's the 15 ounce, so I used half of it. And then a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. So, I'm going to put in some basil leaves on there, a little bit. We want some color on there. And some more oregano. And a little bit of salt and pepper. Alright, we're just going to mix this together. Yum. Turn this on. I know, keep in the bowl. Keep in the bowl.
Sure smells good.
I'm sure he's ready to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I got the oven on because I'm going to put some garlic bread in there. But what I did was we had some big hamburger buns and I made some garlic butter. I did make garlic butter. Now it's in the soup. All right, we're going to pause and clean up. All right, let's see if we can fix it this time. Garlic butter in your soup doesn't hurt a thing,
No.
from what I hear. All right, so we have our buns, and I made some garlic butter I just put butter, and I put some garlic in there, and oregano and basil. So we're just going to put that on our buns. Spread that on there generously.
Yes, please. You could soak it in it for all I care.
Well, your soup has plenty of garlic in it. And I ended up, we tasted it, and needed a little bit more something, so I just put the whole jar of spaghetti sauce in. And that's what I saw everybody else do, but I was trying to just make a half a batch. Well, that's not happening here. So, we're making a whole batch. We'll use all this butter up on these hamburger buns. You guys, you do whatever you want. If you want to buy garlic bread, that's fine, but I had these in the freezer, so that's what we're using. And
It'll work just as good.
I want some Parmesan cheese on mine. He said he didn't want any. Do you want any while I got it out? No?
Nah.
And he's usually the cheese person, not me. Alright. So now we're going to put that in the oven. I have it set at 400 degrees. So we're going to put this in. If I don't drop it on the floor, who knows? Oh, I got to set it 405. See? Alright. That. We got our soup a-boiling. So we'll be back when it gets done. Alright guys, we're going to do a little taste test. I got me a little bowl of soup here. And we're going to put in some of that cheese on top. Look at that. Just stir that in there if you want. Let's try this. It'll be hard to get a noodle with this spoon. Might be too hot, probably burn my mouth. And I'll drop it like I did the garlic butter. Guys, this is good. I love this. This is so good. And with that garlic bread, we're going to have dinner.
I'm ready.
Oh my, that does taste just like lasagna. I would be making this again. And I got my garlic bread right here. Dip that down in there a little bit. Can you see what we got going here? A whole pot of soup. Wish I was like, nah, we won't have that much. We ended up with a whole pot.
Oh, you eat all that today.
Today, I might eat it all, but maybe not in one day. Alright guys, like I said, you can use whatever noodle you want. We just use bow tie because they're kind of bite-sized. You can use lasagna noodle, it's called lasagna soup, but you can use spirals, you can use whatever you want. Use up what you got in your pantry.
Yeah.
Tomatoes, whatever kinds you have. Use up what you got in your pantry. That's why I started digging through there. I'm like, oh, we have stuff for lasagna soup. We're making it. Alright, I'm going to eat this. So, you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, please, and help us grow. And thanks for watching the Baker and Mr. Smith Show. Peace out, guys. Have a great day.